Howdy, folks.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of the Scannell Agenda. My name is Stephen J.F. Scannell. This is my lovely bride, Pamela.
Thank you. Hi.
Today's date is January 21st, 2020.
Yep.
This is show number 125, entitled, It's the Rich People Stupid. And this is about my thoughts about patronage and the favor, I call it the favor, and protecting the status quo. And I think it's just no way to run a railroad. And as your candidate running for prayer and pizza, I mean not prayer and pizza, P&P, I got confused. Running for Pope and President, that's P&P, same letters as your show. Mm-hmm. Running for Pope and President, you know, let's be real. This central planning it's kind of like a communist plot in this country that's been going on for years, and I'm getting sick of it. A lot of people are getting sick of it, and we can't think and do. You know, in America, we always used to, okay, let's think about this, hash it out, and we'll do it. And, you know, we can't even conquer the bugs and drugs. They go together like peanut butter and jelly, the bugs and drugs. You know, you hear me yakking about that once in a while. Now, if we were looking at a pie chart of what we're dealing with now, with this, I will call it an oligarchy. A lot of people call it an oligarchy. I just use an O with a line under it to symbolize that. So if we had a pie chart, and there's a pie chart, we'd have like left and right, looks like a peace sign, and then the money down here, and then you've got fringes of the money who are kind of with the right and with the left, but they're also with the money. And then you've got here another pie chart, looks like a schematic of a normal, let's say, two-party system, which shows a pie, or it looks like a pie chart, but it's got a circle in the middle for the central, or as I call it, the middle good. And then it's got right and left, and then it's got people that are kind of fringes into the center. They're left-wing people, but they're more centrist, right-wing people, but more centrist. And you look at that and you say, that worked. Because the middle, where's your pillow? Where's your my pillow?
Oh.
I was joking with Pam about, we should have brought in a pillow. Because I know this is so boring.
Ad for my pillow.
This is so boring. I'm so sorry.
No, it's not.
You know, your show's not boring. My show is boring. Okay. So fake news is oligarchy news, basically, I think. It's basically. And so as we're living through all this, we don't really know what's happening. It's like Al Gore, remember Vice President Al Gore, he talked about the frog. And if you put the frog in the water and the water's hot, the frog jumps right out. But if you put the frog in the water and you slowly turn the heat up on that frog, that poor frog's going to die. He's not going to know enough to jump out. He's not shocked. It's just like he's going to die. So it's the economy stupid. This is a takeoff, obviously, from Bill Clinton's slogan of, you know, it's the economy stupid, it's the rich people stupid. I say it's the rich people stupid. You know, we're not getting it here. Greenspan and the Clintons, Greenspan was the Fed chair, and he was a major Republican thinker, you might say. Someone could do a show just on that. And so I think it was Carville, that guy Carville. I think it was his slogan. You know, it's the economy stupid, when Bill Clinton was running for president. So today's slogan for politics is we're all getting along, and I think who does this better than Charlie Baker, governor of Massachusetts? Nobody. Nobody gets the right and the left worked up to get along like him. But it's not a two-party system here in Massachusetts. It's definitely an oligarchy. And I would love to be responsible for stopping the United States of America from going down this oligarchy road here in America. Now, where did Trump and Hillary go to when the rich people said, come here? Where did they go? They went to Nantucket. They came right over. And they reported to the rich people. Both of them. So both parties report to the rich. And if you've got a good fishery plan, and it's not their plan, it's not from these status quo people, you know, I call it, it's about the central planning committee, like communism has a central planning committee. But the oligarchy also has a central planning committee. And if it's not from these people in the committee that do the central planning, it's like, where'd he come from? Steve Scannell, he's got fisheries on his mind. You know, he doesn't realize the deal is already done here, folks. The deal is done. We passed out these favors to existing fishermen, and they're very happy, and they're on our team. So what is it that he doesn't get? So I just like things done right. I like things to be real, as in a real democracy. Real democracies don't do this. This is more like communism. And I am Scannell the planner, and I'm son of a planner man. I'm son of Bob Scannell. Everyone knows Bob Scannell, or knew him from Harwich. He was a really sharp guy and a planner. He was on the planning board. He was chairman of the planning board for years. I could go on with those stories. So the extremes are busy chattering away while Rome burns. We get the right-wing people and the left-wing people. And as you go out toward the fringes, the left-wing fringes are gabbing away, and they're not working on this issue. And the right-wing fringes are gabbing away, chattering away like magpies, you know. They're just chattering away. They're in their own world, chattering about their little left-wing things or right-wing things while Rome burns. Now, normally we'd have the middle of the road, middle good from both left and right wings. Left wing would keep their left wing crazies kind of lined up, and the right wing would keep their right wing crazies lined up, and then they'd get together and compromise and work something out, as in thinking and doing, as I mentioned. That's what we used to do in this country before we had this Nantucket oligarchy. I call it Nantucket oligarchy because Trump showed up to Nantucket. Hillary showed up to Nantucket. Why? To answer to the rich. It's the rich people, stupid, that are running this country. So with a great fishery plan for the world, international, federal, and local, called the market quota system, and that was very much hashed out on MIT, but those archives are gone. They want to bury them, but that was what I was big on. And I also put the corruption about the DNA switch on there too. And that was a big deal that I did that. Might have saved my life, because a lot of those people knew me, and they knew I wasn't some crazy paranoid schizophrenic off his meds. They knew I was a good thinker and a guy that could handle all this policy stuff in fisheries. And if you open that up, MIT's blocking it, I guess, which isn't cool to do. They've got their tentacles, you know that little necklace I gave you, this octopus called the oligarchy has all kinds of tentacles out there, and they're tying everything all up. So this is a central plan for the economy that we're in the middle of. Either that or I'm not seeing. I think I'm seeing this very clearly, what we're going through. We have no codfish. So either we have a central planning for this economy by these rich people who want to get their friends into their fold, under their wing, like fishermen and such, and it could be any group, but they collect all these people up and it adds to their power base. And their power base is so important. And it keeps people lined up. I think Trump is lined up with the windmills and the rich people. Now, I say that because what he says about wind is totally bizarre, and it's very crude, and it's an act. Donald Trump is answering to the rich people on Nantucket. Now, he had to tell them on Nantucket, oh yeah, we are not with this Cape Wind or windmills or any of that, because that invades the space of the big energy systems, which are dinosaur systems, but they're status quo and they're being productive and they're making money. So why tamper with it? I'm sure that's their agenda. Don't tamper with it. It's making money. It's bringing in the money. Of course, the balance sheet is not the public balance sheet. So I think the difference between Donald Trump and myself is, he's able to get elected. Of course, I'm not. But when you've got two balance sheets, I can see both. I can see the private balance sheet, and that can be very, very good, of course. And the public balance sheet, I can definitely see the public balance sheet, and they overlap. And you got to see both. You can't be like fishermen and, it's all about my balance sheet, and I want to, do whatever I want to do. Leave me alone. It's kind of nutty. So we want to be real here. So let's get real, President Trump, with the windmills. This is silly business, answering to the rich. I love Donald Trump. Hillary would have been worse, I'm sure. We had only two, and this is the thing with the people that hate Trump. They don't realize that a lot of people in the middle, we really wanted someone like Trump to come in and shake things up and change things. We didn't want the old guard, that would be Hillary, the old style politician who's been in Washington for 89 years. We wanted someone new, a businessman, and I'm happy I voted for Trump. But no president is perfect, that's for sure. He's a leader, but he's not being a leader with the windmills. He's following. He's dancing to their tune. And they called the shots when they had him out to Nantucket. I know that. I was aghast when that happened, and there was no let's say, blowback on that story. It was like the rich people who own the media were saying, okay, we're good, right? We're good. You trust us. We're handling things here. And America is like, duh. America's saying, we're just being taken along for the ride. We got to get back to the two-party system, where I would do very well in a two-party system, but I don't do well because I invent and create these systems. So I'm not impressed with this anti-windmill rant, and this is bizarre. And it goes back to the Cape Wind and how that got knocked out. That was Jim's wind farm, I call that. And that issue just dragged out for, I don't know how many years that was, 12 or 13, before they finally killed it and put it to bed. Now the answer for that would have been to have, and I was pushing this, a consortium, and a wind consortium, wind and wave, would have laid down the infrastructure for hydrogen and compressed air, basically, and electricity. And then the consortium would buy and sell this power. And that is the way to go to scale up wind offshore. So that makes sense. That's new policy, new thinking. Well, we can't do it here in America because we have the rich people on Nantucket running the show downtown. That's the way it is. No new thinking, please. It's just a grind if you're into the issues and you're up against this oligarchy mentality. Massachusetts is the worst. I have a feeling, just a feeling, an inkling, that Utah might be even worse than we are, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I don't know where I come up with that. So the mega system, food, soil, and recycle, I was talking about that this morning with Ed on WXTK. Remember I mentioned that? Mm-hmm. Now they're all embroiled about the nips. These little alcohol, these little nip of vodka or whatever there's the small bottles. Now before that it was the straws. So I really think without good policy workers, we're chasing our tail, because this can all be handled with the good recycling system, and I bundled that with the food, the soil, and the recycle all together. That's a bundled system. So that handles everything from dirty diapers to a gallon jug container for the milk. It just is a comprehensive system, and I design comprehensive, complex systems for the public trust. But none of these are on the table, because apparently we believe here in America in following and not leading. The people need to lead with good leaders. And I'm thankful that Trump got in, but he shouldn't be on this kick about anti-windmills. He should say, the smartest guy about this windmill business is Stephen J.F. Scannell, and he's got it nailed. He knows what we got to do. And that is a monorail system called the Green Grid T. And just, if you think that I am somehow kind of foreign to the status quo and the established, not true at all. No, I understand all that stuff, and I design it in. I've got the United States Postal Service running the monorail systems and packages and cargo, etc., with a post office at every station that would really click. And I've also got the consortium, which I call the Love Power Grid Consortium, playing a big role, buying and selling the commodities such as hydrogen and compressed air that run through those pipes. But we're not even talking about that. We're afraid. We are, I hate to use that word, 10 minutes, cowardice. And I'm a major coward because when I had my vehicular homicide, I didn't handle it properly. That was cowardice. So I'm not like, if I'm pointing the finger at you, I've got more pointed at myself. But I know that's what it is. We are afraid of these rich people. All these systems are really excellent. Now, I know we want the town nurse-based system. We want that. It's just that you're afraid. You're afraid of anything that doesn't obey the oligarchy. You see, most of the Democrats and Republicans are glued to this business of serving the rich. And I would say it's a false god, serving the rich. I don't know for the life of me why pastors and priests don't get into this particular point, that when you serve money, politically or in any other way, or maybe it's in your life personally, but when you serve money over and above what you know to be God's will, you are worshiping a false idol. You are worshiping, you're an idol worshiper. And that's what we've turned into in this country, a bunch of idol worshipers that say, oh, look at this Rolex watch. Wow, that's nice, This is what Kmart, huh? Doesn't say Rolex. Okay, I'm off the track. Sorry. So, what is this oligarchy about, It's about the fact that American citizens are involved in a trade-off. And the deal is, you get the favor. If you're in with the in crowd, you get the favor. And there's a lot of people who the rich people can give favors to if they are in control. So it's a hard system to beat. It's democracy's nemesis. Nemesis is the archenemy of a democracy, is an oligarchy. And the oligarchy people get in there and start handing out favors. And then people line up behind whoever is giving out the favors. So we're losing the middle good in the United States of America. It's a two-party system thing. It's the workings, it's the mechanics of a two-party system. We're losing it. And this is no good. These committee people, these communist central planning committee people that are on Nantucket, who did the DNA switch, by the way, same crowd. These are the people who are saying no, 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 no. Any good idea, if it's not from them, the answer is no. So if it's the best fishery system, no. If it's the best windmill consortium, love power grid consortium to really get this wind system on a sound financial and legal, no, we don't want it. It interrupts the dinosaur petrochemical establishment. No, we don't want that. So those are the people that decide. We don't. We had Democrats, we had Republicans, but we've cashed in our brand. The two-party system has been cashed in. So the green grid T is the answer to the energy crisis and global warming. Greta, take note. And that is what we need to direct our attention to and model that up and get to know that system and say, does this solve the energy crisis? Now, there are two reasons why it does. Green energy shipment through the pipes, these are monorail pipes, and green energy storage in those same pipes. These pipes go everywhere, so it's a massive volume. If you want to think about a pipe as a tank, that's the way to think. And undersea storage of the hydrogen and the compressed air. You can store gases in a bag under the sea, and they're compressed. They don't really need much of a tank, although you could put it in tanks and pipes and what have you. So we're losing our middle good in the United States of America. Now, what's going to happen? We're killing innovation, and we're killing leaders. And what's left over is what they say. You know, you ever hear that joke? What he said, what she said, you know? It's a joke, right? But America is saying what they said. Yeah, we'll go along with that. We're getting something. We're getting the favor. And you line all these people up, so it's Wall Street and the government workers and other people. It ends up being quite a force to be reckoned with, and we're not reckoning with it because no one other than me that I know of is saying that they have all these answers, these systems are answers. And nobody's saying we have a major problem with the money in politics and the oligarchy. It's being said, oh, maybe a little here and there, but those people get weeded out pretty quickly, I think. What do you think, hon? You think there's anything wrong? You think there's anything wrong? Or it's just politics?
No, I think Trump should look at the windmill situation if he isn't.
Are you covering your mic?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Trump should look at the windmill situation if he isn't.
Right. So I have never heard Trump discuss intelligently wind energy. He just slams it into the ground. I think he's answering to the rich. Hillary would do the same thing. We only had a choice between two people. And I'm glad he got elected. But this business of
I'm glad he did too.
Yeah, this business of going to Nantucket and bowing down to those that grant the favor, that's an idol worship right there.
Right.
Which America is guilty of. And Trump is doing his best to drain the swamp, you know? But he can't do it because it's just too hard of a job. It takes the whole country. Left-wingers, right-wingers, middle-of-the-road people, we should want to get the deadwood out, as they say. So these impeachments here of Clinton and Trump, they're a sideshow. I think it's just a joke. It was worse of a joke with Clinton, I thought, than it is with Trump. But it's just as much of a joke, really. I think they're doing it at the behest of the rich people. You know, all this nonsense buys them time so they can keep milking these dinosaur industries for whatever they can get out of them, and then they'll have to cash out, and they won't be happy about that, and we'll have to shift over to green. But I got news for you. The Love Power Grid Consortium approach is to buy the infrastructure as we're going in. So it does quite a favor to the rich people, as I say, the rich people who own all the stocks in the rail and the easements, that's the wires that bring the electricity and the power plants. So these are huge assets that we're talking about. Now, nobody wants their assets smashed apart with a 5-pound sledgehammer. I'm not proposing that. What I'm proposing to do with this Love Power Grid Consortium is to buy in as we move in with this monorail system that carries the green energy. Just buy them up gradually, absorb them in. You know, you do stock trades and absorb them in. So I've only got a minute. So where's the demand for statecraft? I don't see it. I see a bunch of fearful people, just fearful. You're afraid. The media is bought and paid for. The cheap, 1 minute to go. The fake news, it's just oligarchy news. It's by the rich people for the rich people. So we're not getting it. And if we want to get it, just have me on to some program in Boston talking about all these systems that I designed. They're not designed for the rich. It's the rich people, stupid, that want all this old technology to keep going. Now, Greta and I don't want that. And you too, right? You want to go with the green. And you want to do it sensibly. Of course, we're going to keep putting gas in the car, but that's about it. Patronage and the favor and the status quo. It's no way to run a railroad, folks. Thank you for watching the Scannell Agenda.
Thank you.